So in case you have ever wondered what are the exact steps involved when I want to purchase a property, well, you are in luck, because in this video, I'm going to be walking us through the steps involved in buying a property, right from the initiation up to completion itself. So let's get into the video. So the very first thing anyone that wants to buy a property needs to do before you start even looking at a property is having a good understanding of what you want. So you need to do your groundworks properly, understand what budget you're working with, what's the price point of a property I can truly afford. Also, which strategy am I looking at? Because again, in my previous videos, I've talked about different strategies that are involved in properties. So you can search through and try to get a video. So it may be that you're looking for a standard buy-to-let, looking at BRRR opportunities, or you are interested in flips. Whatever the case might be, you need to know what your strategy is before you start looking for a property. Also, you need to understand your location. And for your location, this might be influenced by so many things. You might be picking a location, maybe because of proximity to you. You want a property within close vicinity so that maybe you can easily go or pop into the property to inspect or to manage. Different reasons. It might be a situation where you're just focused on locations where it's easier to get lower entry prices. That might be the motivating factor for you picking a location. But whatever it is, you need to know your location before you start looking for a property. And one more thing, for an investment property, before you set out to start looking for one, you need to know if you are buying in your personal name or you would prefer to buy in a limited company. There are pros and cons to this. This video is not about that. So you can do further research as to the advantages of buying in your personal name or in a business name. And if you're interested in seeing me do a video that highlights the advantages and disadvantages between buying your personal name and buying a limited company, just put it in the comments. Okay, so once we are done with the groundwork, you have a good understanding of your strategy, whether you're buying a company name or your personal name, you have a good understanding of your location and your budget, meaning the price point of the property you're looking at. Now you can actually then start looking for a property. Now, to get the property itself, there are different ways you can go about it. You can just pop on Rightmove or Zoopla and start searching for properties. Now, if I'm going to be honest with you, if you are looking at an investment property and you are planning to get that through Rightmove or Zoopla, I'm not saying it's not possible. It's definitely possible, 100%. But you will do a lot of searching before you can get one that actually makes a good deal. So be ready for some intensive amount of hours scrolling through properties in your choice area and within your budget and playing with the numbers till you find one that actually works. Alternatively, you could engage the services of a deal sourcer. This makes things faster for you because a lot of deal sourcers are privy to properties that are not even listed on Rightmove or Zoopla. They engage and they work with estate agents. So before a property hits the market, they already have a good information about the property. And if it meets your criteria, they can always send it to you. Of course, you would have to pay a premium for the services. Nothing comes for free. But again, it's all about running your numbers, budgeting the price of a deal sourcer into your analysis, and seeing at the end of the day if you are still going to be making profits. Okay, so now let's assume you have found a property, they have accepted your offer. Congratulations. That's the very first step. Now, the process of actually getting the property begins.
Quick pause, hit subscribe and join a community of property investors that are getting insider knowledge that most people pay thousands for. The next video might just be the breakthrough that you need. Don't miss it. Hit subscribe now.
So it's important for you to have your power team, have a good mortgage broker, have a good solicitor. Now, for a mortgage broker, I would always advise, there needs to always be a balance your first approach shouldn't always be about, oh, who is the cheapest broker? No, it should be about who does their reputation precedes them, who has a good experience, who has access to the whole of market. Those are the type of mortgage brokers you want to be working with. Now, when you get a good mortgage broker, they are able to run a big search based on whatever information you have provided to them, and they will be able to get a lender that works great for your particular situation. Of course, we won't be talking about a mortgage broker if your plan is to buy the property outright, meaning you have all the cash to buy the property outright. All well and good. But if you only have enough for the deposits, then of course you need to get a lender. And the best people that can get you the best lenders are mortgage brokers. Again, you're going to need a solicitor, because a solicitor runs all the paperwork. They are in charge of the conveyancing, the documentation, running the searches. So also, getting a good solicitor is important, and it affects how fast or how slow your conveyancing process goes. So most times, I will always advise people to ask for referrals. People that have used solicitors before and they have good testimonies about those solicitors. Those are the type of solicitors that you probably want to work with. So now, once your mortgage broker is able to get a lender, of course, they will always run their proposal through you. They will run what they are offering, they will run their rates, and they can also always advise. So far you're good with it, you can proceed. So at that stage, they are going to offer you what's called a decision in principle. And decision in principle is them saying that based on the information they have of you so far, they are good to lend you a particular amount. And that's enough as proof of funds for the purchase of the property. So now you have gotten your decision in principle and you are good with it. So you instruct your solicitor, let them start the process. The earlier they start with the process, the better. Now, they carry out surveys, they carry out searches. Once you instruct your solicitor, the ball has started rolling. Now, you have to carry out surveys. Well, it's not compulsory, but it's always advisable. And most times, the lenders you're working with will want to see a report of the survey. And if you're buying a home, I will always advise you, you go with a level 2 survey where they're able to do more than just visual inspections. Also check the structural integrity of the property that you're buying. Also, your solicitor will start running searches, try to see where you are, whether the property is sitting on a coal mine area, look at the flood records of the area, anything that could raise a red flag. That's what your solicitors will be searching for. Once they are done with all the searches, and if everything comes back good, of course, they are going to tell you and you are good to proceed. Now, there are some other costs you need to be aware of, because most times, again, when people are trying to buy a property, they are just focused on the deposit. But you have other costs, such as stamp duty costs, which is about 5% of your property value, well, depending on the price point of the property. You also have costs such as the arrangement fee or the product fee itself. So all this needs to be built into your numbers when you're running your analysis. So still ensure that even with the additional cost involved, your deal is still indeed a good deal for you. During all this period, documents are being sent to you. Your mortgage documents are being sent for you to review and to execute. All the needed legal documents are also being sent to you for you to also review and execute. Now, if you're buying in a company name, you'll probably be a director in that company. And if that's the case, you would also need to get the services of an independent legal advisor, because now your solicitor is representing your company. However, you need another lawyer to represent you as the director of the company. And the reason why that is done, because the director is still accountable for the affairs of the company. So should anything go bust, they can always come for the director. So you need to be represented by another lawyer to make you aware of your consequences and of the responsibilities of you being a director in that company. So that's something to also bear in mind. Of course, you're also going to have to pay for an independent legal advisor. Also budget this into your analysis. So once all this is done, the document is signed, all the searches have been completed, and everything is good, your solicitor and the seller solicitor, they're going to agree on the completion date. And the completion date is the exact date where the contract is signed, and when you officially become the owner of the property. Now, bear in mind that this process itself can take up to 3 or 4 months, or even more in some cases where probably your situation is not as straightforward as the ideal situation. And I think for me, that's one of the pain points of the conveyancing process because it takes too long. However, once you have completed, congratulations to you. You are now the official owner of a new property. Now, again, there are things you need to note during this process itself. So don't just be idle and feel like, oh, I've already instructed the solicitor. I don't need to do anything on my part. You need to chase up your solicitor. Call them. If 2-3 days have gone by and you have had no updates, ring them. The truth is that they have a lot of clients, right? So you have to be on top of your issue to ensure your matter is being prioritized. Sometimes when you call them, you hear them saying, oh, we are waiting for feedback from the seller. If you also call the estate agent that is working on behalf of the seller, the estate agent might also tell you the same thing, that they are waiting for feedback from your solicitor. That's just the funny thing about. Sometimes communication is always the issue. So you need to follow them up, ensure things are moving as at when they need to move. Also, ensure you are very transparent. Be transparent with your broker. Be transparent with your solicitor. If you have any personal concerns based on your profile, let them know from day one so that they can be in the best position to advise you. It will be very bad and it's going to delay the whole process when you are far into the process, only for them to discover some things that might hamper the process. So ensure you are completely transparent with them so that they can advise you properly from day one. So basically, that's all the process it takes during conveyancing for you to become the official owner of the property. But again, I can't overstress it. Ensure you do your groundwork properly. Know your numbers. Do your detailed analysis and ensure any deal you get or any deal that is brought to you indeed is a good deal. Trust me, there are a lot of landlords out there that are running on a loss and you wouldn't want to be one of them. I hope this was helpful. Again, ensure to like the video, subscribe to the channel so that this can reach more audience, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.